Who is Joseph? Before the 1960 season, parents, his girlfriend, and a few others could have answered that question. By the end of the year, anybody who had ever picked up a sports page knew Joseph Murray White Jr., better known as the world's most famous third-string quarterback. That's Bubba you're watching right now. The story of this reserve, who came out of obscurity to play an important role in the Ball's Southeastern Conference Championship drive, was not an isolated case. Time after time, Coach Doug Dickey looked to his bench for someone to pick when a regular was out of the lineup. Not only White, but Charlie Fulton, Walter Chadwick, Jimmy Hahn, Tommy Bauckham, Mike Jones, Vic Dingus, and Jim McDonald came through for the Vols as pinch hitters. It's little wonder, then, that Coach Dickey repeatedly referred to Tennessee's success in terms of a team effort. Bob Johnson speaks for these 1967 Volunteers. All-America center, honor student in engineering, winner of the National Foundation Scholarship for Postgraduate Study, football captain, Bob epitomized the best in college athletics.
One thing that I'll always remember about this football team is the hustle and the hard work and the cheerfulness that they showed on the practice field. I think sometimes football practice can be slow and drudgerous, or else you can go at it with a smile on your face. And I think that's the way this team went at it, with a smile on their face. And I think our good record was a direct result of their hustle and enthusiasm that they showed on the practice field.
This was the fourth season as head coach of the Volunteers for Dickey, who, for the third straight year, guided his club into a holiday bowl game. This time, it was a dazzling Orange Bowl at Miami. Dickey was voted Coach of the Year in the Southeastern Conference after bringing Tennessee its first league championship since 1956. It had been a long wait, but jubilant Vol fans enthusiastically saluted the heroes of Big Orange Country. Attendance hit an all-time high with an average of 54,000 fans watching 5 games at Neyland Stadium. Another 325,000 saw the Vols play away from home, including 77,000 in the Orange Bowl. And now, let's review the season of this great team that won the Southeastern Conference title and was ranked second in the nation with a regular season record of 9 victories against a single loss. There was a Hollywood setting for the opener, played at Los Angeles Coliseum, but the script must have been written on UCLA's Westwood campus because it certainly didn't follow the line that was planned in Knoxville. A promising opening moment for the Vols finds UCLA fumbling the kickoff with Jim McDonald scooping it up at the Bruin 19. Charlie Fulton finds 4 yards at right tackle. Dewey Warren's pass is taken at the 12 by Kenny DeLong, who breaks the tackle and reaches the 2. Less than a minute has elapsed in the game when Fulton darts across the goal for a Tennessee touchdown. Karl Kremser adds the extra point with a soccer-style boot that is right on target. After UCLA kicks a field goal that cuts the lead to 7-3, the Vols get another scoring opportunity when Nick Showalter, playing linebacker in this first game, comes up with a Bruin fumble at the 9. Warren's pass to DeLong pays off for a 5-yard gain. Warren cracks the tough UCLA defense for 2 yards. 4th down at the 1, and it's Richard Pickens diving across for the score. The Vols lead 13-3. The Bruins begin to move. Rick Purdy breaks across the middle and is pulled down after moving into Tennessee territory at the 37. Gary Beban hits Rich Spindler, the play carrying to the ball 6. Beban, behind fine blocking, scores from the 6. The ball still leads, but it's now a 13-10 ball game. Steve Carroll, in his first appearance as a ball, intercepts a Beban pass late in the third quarter to hold off a UCLA scoring bid. But the Bruins surge downfield again early in the fourth quarter and tie the score on a 27-yard field goal. The ball set out to break the tie, with Fulton streaking 36 yards across midfield and into UCLA territory. Passes to DeLong, and the sophomore tight end advances to the 19. Karl Kremser, who kicked the football for the first time last spring, tries a 35-yard effort that sails through the uprights. Again, Tennessee leads in this topsy-turvy battle, 16-13. Heisman Trophy winner Gary Beban zigzags through the ball defense 27 yards for the deciding touchdown that gives UCLA its uphill victory, 20-16. With an open date the following Saturday, the Vols intensify their efforts on the practice field as they get set for the Southeastern Conference opener against Auburn at Neyland Stadium. Dandy Charlie Fulton dances off tackle for 19 yards behind powerful blocking by Tennessee's offensive line. This pass from Warren to Terry Dalton, good for 15 yards, launches a 76-yard scoring drive. As the ball front wall opens up a good hole, Walter Chadwick races for 20 yards. Warren throws to DeLong, who fumbles out of bounds at the Auburn 11. Richard Pickens cracks over tackle, reaching the 3-yard line. Warren flips a short pass to DeLong, whose catch puts Tennessee into the lead. The Plainsmen retaliate in the second quarter with a 76-yard scoring drive of their own. Lauren Carter's pass to Tim Christian carries to the Tennessee 4. Richard Plaguey moves it to the 1. Carter on the keeper goes into the end zone as Auburn notches the score at 7 apiece. The Tigers go ahead with a field goal, and Tennessee trails in the game for the last time during the 1967 season. But Fulton's 25-yard gallop puts the Vols back in business. Pickens slices through the middle for 13 yards. Kenny DeLong takes a pass from Warren and lacks only a yard of scoring. Warren slips across as the Vols assume the lead again, 14-10. But a field goal on the final play of the half leaves Auburn within 1 point of the Vols, 14-13 at intermission. The Vols ground attack is functioning smoothly in the third quarter as Fulton advances to the Auburn 41. Chadwick picks up 6 to keep the march going. Fulton, filling in for Warren, who was hurt early in the period, spots DeLong with a pass, and the big Virginian carries to the 6. Chadwick scores, but when the extra point try misses, the Vols hold only a 7-point lead, 20-13. Auburn threatens to tie the score, but thanks to this smashing tackle by Steve Kiner and fumble recovery by Jimmy Glover, the drive is nullified. In the final period, Tennessee wraps it up with an 82-yard scoring march that begins when Fulton's pass to Flowers yields 16 yards. Boynton, en route to back of the week honors for his pinch hit performance at quarterback, moves across midfield to the Auburn 46. Charlie fires a pass to Mike Price. The play good for 14 yards. Another pass. This time to Richmond Flowers accounts for 11 more yards and gives Tennessee a first down at the 8. Chadwick, who developed almost a specialty of scoring from anywhere inside the 10, covers a final 8 yards. Karl Kremser kicks the first of 27 straight extra points and lands him a berth on the second-team All-SEC in his first season as a kicker. The Vols' 27-13 victory is a promising start in the Southeastern Conference Championship race. Next came the game that was to transform Bubba White from an unheralded bench warmer to the South's back of the week. It's the annual battle with Georgia Tech, played as always before a capacity audience, this time at Neyland Stadium on regional TV. Charlie Fulton, still handling the quarterback job as Warren remains sidelined with an injury, pops a pass to Chadwick, who is spilled after a 23-yard gain. Fulton's pass to Terry Dalton, accompanied by a 15-yard penalty against Tech, puts the ball in the Engineers' 26. Fulton smashes over tackle for 6 more yards. Charlie gets 6 more, but he's hurt and has to leave the game. The injury brings on White, who has anything but an auspicious debut as he tosses an incompleted pass. Doug Dickey turns to Karl Kremser, whose 22-yard field goal puts Tennessee in front. Early in the second quarter, Tech appears ready to go for the equalizer. It's a fake. Ken Bonifay tries for the first down, but is spilled by Nick Showalter for a 3-yard loss. Weiss proves himself a deft ball handler as he pitches out to Chadwick for a 10-yard advance in the option play. Weiss then lofts a pass to Gary Kress at the 20. The sophomore from Oliver Springs makes it a 36-yard advance as he carries to the 9. Weiss finishes the 73-yard drive with a pass to Flowers that puts Tennessee on top 10-0. Georgia Tech heads into Tennessee territory, but Jimmy Glover's interception chokes off the threat and starts the Vols toward their second touchdown. With the ball at midfield, Weiss hits Flowers at the 35, and the Montgomery Flyers zips into the end zone. Weiss has engineered the Vols to a 17-0 lead. Kim King, nursing an ankle injury, goes in at quarterback for Tech late in the half and is greeted by Showalter 13 yards. The hard-running Georgia product then adds 13 more as the Vols pick holes in the Georgia Tech defense. Richard Pickens sprints off tackle and is stopped after a 17-yard gain. Weiss's pass to Flowers is incomplete, but Tech is guilty of pass interference, giving Tennessee a first down at the 1. Chadwick goes in for the score, putting the Vols on top 24-0. Richard Pickens, valuable as a blocker, can also move ahead quickly with the ball, as he proves with this 35-yard scamper. Tech scores twice in the fourth quarter. Larry Good connects with Steve Allman for this one. An attempted two-point conversion is batted down. The Vols' 24-13 victory sets the stage for next week's Game of the Year in the South. national powerhouses, Tennessee and Alabama, collide in mid-October before the largest crowd ever to see a game at Birmingham's Legion Field. Southern football supremacy and an inside track for bowl consideration are at stake in this renewal of one of the nation's most intense rivalries. The air is charged with electricity as Alabama's Dudley Kerr kicks off to Tennessee's Richard Callaway, who returns it to the 33. On the first play, Richard Pickens knifes ahead for 9 yards. It's Pickens again, this time for 10 yards. Bubba White passes to Richmond Flowers for 9 more yards. Weiss, still at quarterback in place of injured balls Warren and Fulton, hits Chadwick, whose great run gives Tennessee a first down at the 1. Chadwick leaps across for the score to climax a 67-yard drive. The Tide bounces back, utilizing the famed passing tandem of Ken Stabler and Dennis Holman. This play gives Alabama a first down at the Volunteer 15. Alabama's ground attack, held in check most of the game, clicks for 7 yards and a pitch out to Ed Morgan. Stabler, with masterful execution of the option play, reaches the end zone to tie the score. The second quarter is a titanic defensive struggle, exemplified by this rush of Stabler. It's Jimmy Weatherford who clings to Holman like a glove, who intercepted this pass intended for the All-America flanker. Here, sophomore linebacker Steve Kiner nails Morgan for a 2-yard loss. More defensive gems set up a second ball touchdown in the third quarter. Jack Reynolds and Rick Marino stopped David Chatwood for no gain. Marino, this time aided by McDonald, again stopped Chatwood cold. Steve Davis' fourth down kick is out of bounds at the Alabama 40. It's a golden opportunity for the Volunteers. Weiss uncorks a pass to Flowers, good for 9 yards to the 31. Flowers again is on the receiving end as Weiss hits him for a 12-yard gain to the 18. Tennessee's blocking springs Pickens for a 5-yard pickup. It's 3rd and 3 at the Alabama 11, and the balls reveal their secret weapon. Walter Chadwick, who had never thrown a forward pass, takes a pitch out from Weiss and tosses the ball to DeLong, who is alone in the end zone. The touchdown and Kremser's extra point put Tennessee ahead 14-7. Alabama, stopped on the ground, tries the air. Stabler, under pressure from Derek Weatherford, throws to Holman, but Mike Jones intercepts for Tennessee. The speedy Chadwick circles in for 23 yards as the ball sends another scoring chance. Kremser's 47-yard field goal, which proves pivotal in determining the course of the game, widens the lead to 17-7. A fourth quarter interception by Alabama, deep in Tennessee territory, is climaxed by this touchdown. The Tide tries a 2-point conversion, but Jimmy Weatherford slams the ball out of Holman's hands, and Tennessee clings to a 17-13 lead. Again, watch the ball defense. Stabler is stopped at midfield by Marino and a promising sophomore end, Vic Dingus. Then, Stabler back to pass is rushed by blitzing ball linebacker Steve Kiner and takes an 11-yard loss. Albert Dorsey becomes the man of the hour with a fantastic bit of fourth quarter heroics. The pass is intended for Holman, but Dorsey picks it off for an interception. Alabama is in ball territory with 2.5 minutes left. Dorsey again to the rescue. This time he pulls down a pass intended for Danny Ford. Interception number 3 by Dorsey puts the frosting on the cake for the Volunteers. The All-America defensive back steals this one at the 31 and lugs it into the end zone. The Vols go home to a wild airport reception and a never-to-be-forgotten 24-13 victory over Alabama. Safely past Alabama, the Vols couldn't afford a letdown the following week when they were host to the powerful Tigers of Louisiana State. The two teams were tied for the Southeastern Conference lead going into this game. There goes Richmond Flowers zipping for 11 yards on a wingback reverse. Tennessee's fast-improving defense is seen at its stubborn best. Quarterback Fred Haynes is dropped by Jim McDonald and Steve Kiner for a 4-yard loss. McDonald again, this time assisted by Derek Weatherford, stops fullback Kenny Newfield. Eddie Ray, the league's top punter, gets off a 47-yard kick to Bill Baker, who returns to the Volunteer 39. Tennessee needs 6 plays to drive in for the TD. The key gain is a 41-yard pass play from Warren to Flowers. Warren opens the second quarter with a pass to Chadwick, who advances to the LSU 7. It's a first down for the Volunteers. That's the Swamp Rats scoring to put Tennessee ahead. The Vols preserve their 7-0 lead just before the half ends when monster man Jimmy Glover comes up with a well-timed interception to nip an LSU drive in the end zone. The Big Orange marches 80 yards for a score in the third period. Here, Chadwick finds room around left end for a 13-yard advance. Warren fades the pass and hits Terry Dalton for an additional 14 yards. Kenny DeLong is the target this time, taking Warren's pass for a 17-yard gain. The 80-yard scoring drive is capped with Chadwick's burst up the middle to make it 14-0. It appears the Vols are safely in command, but Sammy Grisafi, the LSU safety man, takes the ensuing kickoff at the goal line, outmaneuvers the Vol defense, and goes all the way, 100 yards for a touchdown. The sensational run back reduces Tennessee's lead to 7 points and sets the Tigers on fire. Richard Pickens makes a dazzling 44-yard run for the Volunteers, who now face the toughest challenge of their Southeastern Conference championship drive. LSU moves 80 yards to tie the score midway through the fourth period as quarterback Nelson Stokely keeps for 14 yards in the touchdown. Tennessee must get on the scoreboard somehow. Warren fires a pass to Chadwick that is good for 18 yards. Warren brilliantly engineers a drive to set up this game-winning field goal by Karl Kremser. Only 1 minute remains. LSU moves downfield for a tying field goal, but Roy Hurt's 36-yard attempt is wide to the right. The Vols have posted a 17-14 milestone victory over Louisiana State en route to the Southeastern Conference title. After going through the most demanding first-half season ever encountered by a Tennessee team, the Vols traveled to Florida to help dedicate Tampa Stadium, beautiful new showplace home of the Tampa Spartans. A Florida boy, tailback Richard Callaway from Ugali, moves in for a touchdown as the Vols assume an early lead. Steve Carroll, in his first game as a regular at tackle, pounces on a Tampa fumble early in the second quarter. Kenny DeLong's catch of this Bubba Weiss aerial gives the Vols a 17-0 halftime lead. Early in the third period, Walter Chadwick breaks free and races down the sidelines for a 65-yard touchdown that is the longest play from scrimmage for the 1967 season. Another Vol touchdown is set up with this pass from Dewey Warren to Mike Price. On the next play, Warren fires an 11-yard pass to Mike Gooch, who takes it in the end zone. Warren and Gooch team up again in the final period. The play covers 27 yards and closes the scoring in a 38-0 Tennessee run. The Vols return from Florida riding a 5-game victory streak. Next, they face Tulane as the fourth straight sellout crowd fills Neyland Stadium. Homecoming festivities make it a gala weekend on the Hill for returning alumni. Already ahead 7-0, the Vol offensive machine never looked better as Chadwick breaks loose for 15 yards on a draw play. Warren's pass to Chadwick keeps the drive moving. The Vols make it 14-0 in the second quarter as Chadwick negotiates the final 7 yards for a touchdown. Vic Dingus recovers a Tulane fumble at the Greenie's 36. White, relieving Warren at quarterback, completes a pass to Bobby Patterson, who takes it from the 33 all the way to the 8. White keeps and scrambles to the 1. Warren re-enters the game and cracks across for the touchdown. Tennessee zooms to a 21-0 lead. Tulane's talented quarterback, Bobby Duhan, lofts a pass, but it's intercepted by Jimmy Glover at the Tulane 37. Weiss again is at the controls. He hits Flowers for 15 yards. From the 3, Weiss crosses up the Greenies by passing to Gooch, and the Vols on 4 consecutive touchdown drives have a 28-0 lead. Nick Pizzolato is on the receiving end of a touchdown pass from Duhan, reducing the Vols' halftime advantage to 28-7. Bill Baker takes a Tulane punt on his own 38 and makes a nifty return of 37 yards, almost back to the original line of scrimmage. Warren fires to Richmond Flowers, who scores a touchdown that wraps up a decisive 35-14 victory over the Green Wave of Tulane. game that rivaled the Alabama contest in importance to the Volunteers. Ole Miss carried an 8-year victory string into the Southeastern Conference Showdown in Memphis' beautiful Memorial Stadium. Defensive play is ferocious. The ball, Steve Kiner belts Steve Hindman for a loss to the Ole Miss 25. Bruce Newell's pass attempt to open the second quarter is broken up by Jimmy Weatherford. Charlie Fulton, following the Rebels' punt, picks up 8 yards in this pass from Warren. Playing for the first time since the Georgia Tech game, the elusive Fulton works his way forward for 8 more yards. Fulton, one of the most explosive runners in the nation, threads his way forward for 14 more yards. Chadwick, back in a tailback, hits off tackle for 7 yards. Now a Tennessee touchdown, as Chadwick, just as he did against Alabama, catches Ole Miss by surprise with a pass, this time to Terry Dalton for the score. The Vols lead 7-0. A resolute Tennessee defense sets up another touchdown. Hindman's fumble is recovered by Dick Williams at the Rebel 27. Warren and company move goalward as Ken DeLong's catch is good for 11 yards. Warren throws complete to Flowers, who is bumped by an Ole Miss defensive back. Chadwick, who has a sure nose for the goal line, covers the last 9 yards to put Tennessee on top 14-0. Dick Williams, charged up at his defensive tackle slot, pounces on an Ole Miss fumble deep in Rebel territory. His second recovery of the game. Dependable Karl Kremser adds to his record field goal production with a 42-yard kick that gives the Vols a 17-0 halftime lead. The Rebels go 41 yards for a score in the third quarter. The big play, a 13-yard pass from Terry Collier to Hindman. With their lead cut to 10 points, the Vols get another scoring drive underway as Chadwick circles left end for 14 yards. Karl Kremser's field goal makes the score 20-7, Tennessee, and takes the momentum away from the rallying Rebels. Tennessee protects its lead for the rest of the game. This fourth quarter interception by Al Dorsey was one of 3 picked off by Vol defense men late in the game, as a long-standing jinx is shattered in an impressive 20-7 win that produces an Orange Bowl invitation. When rivals such as Kentucky and Tennessee meet, you can throw the records out the window. That may be a tired old cliche, but its truthfulness stood the tests of time. The oft-beaten Wildcats were poised and ready for Tennessee's invasion at Lexington. Sophomore Herman Weaver, consistently improving as a punter, boots won 71 yards in the first period to hem up the Wildcats deep in their own territory. Weaver's kicking played a big role in limiting the punt return exploits of Kentucky's great Dickie Lions. Steve Kiner, later to be named SEC Sophomore of the Year, intercepts David Baer's pass, setting up the Vols' first touchdown. 2 plays cover the 17 yards required to score. Here, Bill Baker snares Warren's pass in the end zone as Tennessee takes a 7-0 lead. Baker, recently converted to wingback, makes a spectacular diving catch of a Warren pass for a 31-yard gain. The draw play works to perfection as Pickens heads up the middle for 14 yards. On the last play of the quarter, Warren passes to Flowers, who weaves his way into the end zone behind spectacular blocking. Kentucky is driving goalward late in the second quarter, but Mike Jones intercepts and returns the ball 71 yards. Tennessee goes to the dressing room with a 14-0 halftime lead, but trouble is brewing. Lyons, an accomplished broken field runner, finds a bit of daylight early in the second half and is gone. He's overhauled at the 3 after a brilliant 68-yard scamper. The Kentucky scores 3 plays later to narrow the game to 14-7. Charlie Fulton gained 17 yards as a fiercely challenged Vols put together a fourth quarter drive, mostly on the ground, that eats up almost 10 minutes. Again, the elusive Fulton hits for 7 yards. Mike Jones comes up with a history-making interception. It is the 26th of the year for the Vols and ties a school record set in 1949. Karl Kremser's soccer-style kick with less than 2 minutes remaining sews it up as Tennessee takes a thriller from Kentucky 17-7. Another keen rivalry that traces back to before the turn of the century is renewed in the final game of the regular season as Vanderbilt brings its exciting offense to Neyland Stadium. Vol seniors are on hand for the coin toss on a rainy afternoon in Knoxville. Fireworks explode in the first quarter when Warren completes one to Flowers, who applies some fancy footwork to get to the Vanderbilt 4. Chadwick hits pay dirt on the next play. 8 minutes have elapsed in the opening period. This 13-yard pass from Warren to end Gary Chris makes the Swamp Rat a member of the 1,000-yard club for the second straight year. After a penalty momentarily delays the ball, Pickens finds a hole through the middle and rambles for 13 yards. It's Fulton with a beautiful maneuver that shows his uncanny running ability, who gains a final 13 yards in this drive that put Tennessee on top 14-0. A Fulton to Flowers pass, good for 31 yards, is the key play in a second quarter march that advanced Vol lead to 21-0. Hardy fans braved an almost constant rain to watch the Vols wrap up the Southeastern Conference Championship. Here, Warren hits Flowers for a 31-yard gain as the Vols bid to score again just before the half end. Kremser's field goal from the 28 is good, and Tennessee takes a 24-0 lead to the dressing room. The Vols are leading 34-7 when Roger May connects with Lee Knoll for a Commodore touchdown early in the fourth quarter. The score is now 34-14. Nashville's Bobby Patterson goes in from the 5 for Tennessee's 5th touchdown. Reserve tackle John Brzezowski crashes through to drop May for a 6-yard loss as the Vols blast Vanderbilt 41-14 to end regular season play with a splendid 9-1 record and a trip to the Orange Bowl. Finally, the Orange Bowl game in Miami. Amid the holiday pageantry of sunny Florida, the Vols hook up in a titanic struggle with Oklahoma. Longtime Orange Bowl watchers called it one of the most exciting duels in the game's history. The Sooners strike quickly and roll to a 3-touchdown lead at the half. Bob Warmack, Oklahoma quarterback, seen here scoring from the 6, sparks the red-hot attack of the Big 8 champions. One of the few good things to happen to Tennessee in an otherwise dismal first half is this long kickoff return by Charlie Fulton. The tables are turned in the third quarter. And Jim McDonald blasts through to pin an 11-yard loss on Warmack. Oklahoma passes from deep in its own territory. Vol monster man Jimmy Glover picks off the toss and carries into the end zone for Tennessee's first score. The Vols trail 19-7. Two plays later, the Sooners again go to the air with equally disastrous results. Jimmy Weatherford intercepts to set up a second volunteer touchdown. Warren's pass to DeLong eats up 16 yards. Fulton carries from the 5. There's a great block by Richard Pickens to spring Charlie. Now Tennessee, trailing by only 19-14, is clearly back in the game. Later in the same period, you see a great example of Richmond Flowers' blistering speed. The go-boy from Montgomery, Alabama, sprints 24 yards to get the Vols out of a jam. Gary Chris, coming along swiftly as a receiver, takes a pass from Warren, good for 17 yards. Pickens hits off tackle for 18 more yards. Karl Kremser, whose improvement as a kicker throughout the season was one of the most spectacular developments in Tennessee's success, boots a 26-yard field goal to narrow Oklahoma's lead to 19-17. But then bad luck strikes the Volunteers. It's Oklahoma's time to pick off a crucial interception, and Bob Stevenson carries a deflected ball aerial, 25-yard ruffle. The Vols crank up their offense once again. Warren hits Flowers for 25 yards. The Swamp Rat goes this time to his tight end. DeLong hauls it in for an 11-yard advance. Oklahoma is looking for the pass, so Warren keeps and chalks up 11 big yards. Finally, Warren sneaks across for the touchdown. Tennessee is trailing now by just 2 points, but only 4 minutes remain. It's 4th and inches for the Sooners at their own 43. They elect to go for the first down, but a cracking tackle by Jack Reynolds hurls back the play, and Tennessee gets a final chance. A field goal attempt from the 33 is long enough, but it's wide to the right. The Sooners preserve a 26-24 victory and a never-to-be-forgotten Orange Bowl spectacular.